Good morning once again, and you are still watching Sunrise at Sea here on CTV. Welcome back from that short break, and right now it's time for our views. My name is Agi Oase, and joining me at the center of this conversation, to my far right, that is Sarah Apollo, and seated right next to me is Siobhan Alma. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
Good.
You all look like you're blushing. I don't know whether you're blushing or you're smiling, but anyway, today we are talking about side hustles. Is it something that you have had before? Is it something that you're planning on venturing into? We'll be giving you all that information and also giving you our personal experiences for some of us who have tried side hustles. Whether they have worked out, whether they have not, we shall still let you know of everything that happens or when it comes to side hustles. First of all, a side hustle is a side source of income. Let me actually put it that way. Side source of income besides your main job. You could be a lawyer and you love clothes and you venture into having a boutique. You could be a teacher and you also love music. So while you are done with your 9-to-5 job at school, you're headed, somewhere training people in regards to music. A side hustle could be something that you are passionate about, that you love doing. And some people do it not for the sake of money. They do it because they love to do it, and others have actually in the wake of COVID-19, that is when we saw the rise of side hustles. So many people decided to venture into baking, into cooking. Others discovered skills that they didn't know that they had. And I've also had or encountered multiple people who, after the COVID-19 pandemic, decided to quit their jobs and go into and focus more on their then side hustle, which has become their main source of income at the moment. Well, ladies, for my first question, I'd like us to share our experiences. I don't know if you have tried venturing into a side hustle, whether it has worked out. I'd like to know from you, what are those experiences you've had when it comes to side hustles? Could be a friend's experience if you haven't ventured into it.
The thing about side hustles is, number one, it's a really good avenue to get extra income coming in. Absolutely, 100%. Side hustles can be very flexible and can, work to your benefit. Side hustles can increase your net worth and also your social capital. You get to meet customers or clients on a regular. But the thing about side hustles is if you have not properly prepared for them, then you're doomed for failure. But then again, if you fail, it does not mean you can't get up and try again and try something else that's different. The thing about also side hustles is that you have to be disciplined. You have to know how to properly allocate and balance your time, because this is a side hustle. It is not your main stream of income. It's an additional stream of income. So if you have a full-time job, then you have to find ways to properly allocate time so that you have enough time for your job and enough time for your side hustle. So if you're a person who doesn't really know how to multitask, then you're going to struggle. Another thing is that you have to be able to learn how to delegate. The thing is that when it comes to money, a lot of us are quite selfish and we don't trust other people to handle it on our behalf. So if you're a person who has trust issues in that aspect, then perhaps a side hustle is not for you. But personally speaking, yes, I have had a side hustle before. I still have side hustles. I have done from event management to makeup to hair styling and hair braiding, to selling clothes, to selling shoes. As in, I do it like I am a merchant and a jack of all trades.
You're a hustler.
I am a hustler, exactly. I'm a hustler, to jewelry, to I'm like that. I am the plug. You get me? Eh? I am the plug.
You heard Sarah. She's the plug for
I'm
literally
the plug.
everything. Yes.
If you need anything, I am the one. If you need somebody to create content for you, to write a script for you, if you need a videographer, a photographer, like I am the plug. So for me, it's just about finding creative ways to earn money within my convenience. So in my experience, it has worked. I have failed in many, and I have failed not because I can't, but because I was not allocating my time properly. I was not delegating, other people to, step in and help me where I cannot. I wanted to do it all, and you can't do it all. But I've learned from those lessons, and now I, start a side hustle. Today I'm doing this thing, tomorrow I'm doing another thing at my convenience, and I am able to simultaneously, navigate through my different hustles because I delegate other people to work on my behalf.
So it's about not giving up.
Exactly.
Irrespective
Don't
of
give
what
up.
happens.
Irrespective
Keep
of
going,
and this is
yes.
the thing. If you fail at one thing, try the next one, and try the next
Yeah.
one, try the next one. The thing is that you can sell anything in this world. You can sell sand at the beach. You can sell water to a fish. You get me? You can even sell air. Because there are people who actually sell canned air now. Do you know that?
But it's
So
very
it's
outrageous,
anything.
yes.
You can sell your hair, you can sell, as in everything
Your
can be
organs.
sold. Your organs, like anything and everything can be sold. Services can be sold, not even just products. But the thing is that you just need to identify what is flexible and what can help you. The thing with the side hustle is find one that is going to allow you to work at any time of the day, at your convenience, and capitalize on that.
Yeah.
Siobhan.
Have I had a side hustle before? No. Have I had a side job away from my main job? Yes. I don't understand why they call them a side hustle, or why it's called a side hustle, because hustle makes it sound like you're suffering so much. No, I don't want to suffer if I'm doing a side job already. So yes, I've had my own experience of, getting side jobs, having gigs coming, and they require, if you're very good at multitasking. If you're not good at this, then I wouldn't recommend that you go for a side job or side gigs. But yes, they do come in handy, after a long day at work, especially if like your main job takes so much of your time. Your side gig should be something, or your side job should be something that you're very passionate about. I'm not saying your main job shouldn't be something you're passionate about. I'm just saying, this other job that you're doing to top up an income or what should be something that you're passionate about, should be something that you can do at your convenience, should be something that you can do even at your home, so that you don't have to really sit in office. So yeah, in one way or the other, I would definitely encourage someone to go for a side job. They're not easy to come by, but the first place to start by looking is, where is your interest drawn? Are you into beauty? Are you into fashion? Are you into mental health? What are you into? What is that one thing that you would want to see changed? That should be the first way to actually, if you're looking on how to get a side job going. But yeah,
Yes.
and it's not easy. The few that I have tried, I remember there's a time I started an MCing thing going on. Okay, it's still there, like my family supports. Family is our biggest supporter. Then I have another one going on called Teens and Twins. It's basically it's a safe place for teenagers and twins to express the things that they're going through. We talk about good career choices and all these things. And sometimes when I'm talking, I'd be preaching to myself. I'm like, yes, come back. But yeah.
Well, also for me, I did try out a side hustle. For me, I call it a side hustle. I think it was during the COVID-19 pandemic, when people couldn't get access to so many things. And I had connections, especially with people who had clothes, who had jewelry and beauty products. I'm like, why am I seated at home doing a lot of nothing? How about I venture into it? I must say that it was difficult, especially on the side of, on the part of getting clients, because then you have to, ask your friends, please post for me, post my number, something like that. And then you could actually go a week without getting an order, without getting anybody who is asking. Or people can ask, say, how much is this bag? How much is this dress? But you won't see a client coming through, to pay either say it's expensive. It's a pandemic. People do not have money. So I carried it on until after the COVID-19 pandemic. As like, maybe it's because now people do not have, access to money, and, some people weren't getting paid. So it's like, what, hold on. So after the pandemic, I carried it on until it couldn't work anymore. I'm like, what? Let me first sit back, focus on career, focus on my main job, until maybe at a later time when I am ready, then I will do that again. But these are some of the benefits of a side hustle in case you are trying to venture into this. One of them is diversifying your income gives you more power. If you can turn your side hustle into something that makes pretty good money, you will likely feel a great deal more freedom in your everyday career, knowing that you have a side source of income. And the other one, use the extra income to pay off your debts. Another good reason to start a side hustle is to create a stream of revenue, especially earmarked to help you pay down your debts faster. Whether you have a few hefty credits, it can be card bills, it can be student loans, whatever it is. I mean, if you have your main job and you're getting paid at your main job, if you have your side hustle, you can decide to get the money from the side hustle and allocate it to paying off your debts, thereby having a little money to save up on your main source of income. And I mean, you're living a better life. It's not good to always live in debt. The other one is create a wish list fund. And this, you know, okay, saving up for a luxury item that you'd never buy with a regular paycheck. It so happens that maybe there's that, you know, Hermes Birkin that you want to buy that's about 500,000 Uganda shillings and you do not have that money. Or if you are to get it off your main source of income, you'll definitely be left with little money that may or may not sustain you, you know, throughout the entire month. So if you have a side hustle, you'll be able, you know, to take care of all the luxury that you want, go on a trip. I mean, it can fund so many other things. And the fourth one is it can help you to start saving. Of course, the most prudent thing to do with money you make from your side hustle is to save it, presuming you are debt-free and not encumbered by a long and ostentatious wish list. That's what I was talking about earlier. And lastly, making time for something you love. One of the strongest arguments in favor of starting a side hustle is the opportunity to create for you to do something that actually brings you happiness. And in this case, it may be something that is not bringing you money, but it may help you rediscover yourself, get more creative, and even find that there's certain skills that you have that you never knew about. So it's not even just about the money, only the money. I mean, you could make money off your side hustle, but you can also do something that you are passionate about, that makes you feel happy, that makes you, you know, try to relax at the end of the day after having your 9 to 5 or whatever job that you are doing. And now I'd like us to talk about we've talked about the benefits of a side hustle, but I think right now there is a lot of pressure with creating multiple sources of income. You know, it's called not financial intellect, but all the people who are always talking about finances and how to manage your finances are always talking about create multiple sources of income. And it's a challenge for so many people, well, including myself. I mean, you have the main job, but you feel you are on pressure to create that side job because probably everyone is doing it, or they are talking about it a lot. So don't you think that, you know, the whole side hustle thing is creating a lot of pressure on people?
No. I don't think so. Again, that is why I said it's very important that if you're looking for doing a side hustle, as you call it, go for something that you love. Why would you get a second job if it's only going to cause you pressure? Then just don't get a second job, because I mean, if you're getting a second job and it's causing you pain, then you shouldn't go for it. Go for something that gives you peace. That is why it's very important that even while we're looking at, you know, transforming our income, or, you know, having to be able to learn how to save through that side gig that you're doing, do something that you're passionate about. For example, if it's MCing, Sarah here is a very good MC. You could decide to say, I'm going to MC. It's something that you love. That is something that you do not need to prep for. If someone said, please come and MC, come. Then that shouldn't put you on pressure.
What if it's something that you have to do, maybe because your main source of income or your job is not actually paying you enough to take care of all the things that you have to?
Then I don't
What if
think
it's inevitable for you to have a side hustle?
That ceases to be a side hustle, because a side hustle is a top-up of what you already have. That is
it may not be enough. What you have may not be enough, and you feel you need another stream of income.
This is the thing. If your dilemma is that my 9 to 5 job is not paying me enough, and yet my expenses just keep on going higher and higher and higher, then perhaps you need to, number one, either just find another job that could pay you a salary that you feel you deserve, which is not easy, by the way. Or number two, just find another stream of income to come in to help you ease your financial situation. Let's have an example of what is happening right now. We are suffering one of the hugest inflations this country has ever faced due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the war in Russia, the war in Ukraine, the UK is made fall into recession this year, as in the whole situation around the world is just absolutely devastating, and especially in an economic and financial aspect. So it is necessary for people to have multiple streams of incomes coming in. But the misconception is that you have to work like a donkey. You don't have to. For instance, I work 2 jobs in a day, and I have 2 jobs in a day because it allows me to properly allocate my time between my jobs. I don't feel overworked. I am able to work at my convenience sometimes, and it's very flexible. You get? So if you have a side hustle or a side business, find one that is going to allow you to still go about your day the way that you usually would, but then you have incomes coming in. In the beginning, I said learn to delegate, employ people. Put people in your chain of supply and distribution so that it eases your load. In that way, you're creating employment for the next person. What we do is that we get greedy. We want it all for us. And with women, we want to have the title superwoman. You are not. You're going to end up just breaking yourself, stressing yourself out, falling into depression, and just being frustrated, bitter, and angry. And you don't need that. Another thing is that people think that with a side hustle, you have to sell a product. You don't have to. Sometimes you could just be a middleman.
Yeah.
So for instance, let me give you a very interesting trick. One thing about us ladies is that we take our beauty very seriously. Our hair, our nails, we'd always know the person who sells the best weaves, who does the best nails, who does the best skincare, whatever the case may be. You could make yourself an influencer for this business. And what I mean by an influencer, you don't even have to. You could post your pictures and get them clients, or you could just recommend to your friends, to your family, to your friends' friends, just bring this person and just have an arrangement with the business order that for every client that I bring you or for every number of clients that I recommend to you, number one, may give me discounts on the services that you give me. And you know what that does? It cuts your costs on your beauty self-care maintenance on a month. So if you find that you're doing your nails for say 10K, and you say for every client you give me a discount of 10%, you're going to find that every time you go to the salon, you're not even paying for your nails. Do you understand? So find creative ways to reduce your costs. If you cannot start a side hustle and run a business on yourself, find creative ways to cut your costs so that you can subsidize on your financial spend at the end of the month.
Yeah, but also the person that is watching for us, the finance of the nails, you've just said they're 10K. No, they're not 10K.
They're not.
I'm just giving an example.
Okay,
to be honest, if you're going to do your nails at a high-end salon, it's about 150 and up. Just your hands, and even that is just refilling your tips.
Because the finances of our nails might think they've been lying.
Nothing.
We needed to
Yeah, you wanted.
we needed to set it clear.
Yeah. Okay. Let me now be very honest in that it's 150K. So, for instance, for every client that you bring, you find that you reduce your spend down to 50K. You understand? I'm sorry, dear sponsors.
Yeah.
I just wanted to rectify that. But that was a hypothetical example. But to go on to say this, it's necessary to have extra sources of income. If you cannot bring in extra money, find creative ways to reduce your monthly spend. Because, in 2015, Uganda was rated the highest and most entrepreneurial country in Africa. Okay, in sub-Saharan Africa, women entrepreneurs are at about 26%, which is a good thing. That means women are becoming less and less dependable on somebody else to provide for themselves and are taking things into their own hands to provide for themselves. This is why we go to school. Get empowered, get educated. Being literate does not mean you are educated. So educate yourself, read and find creative ways that can suit you and help you to bring in extra money, even if it's 5,000 shillings. You get? You can give your border guy, add people to his roster of clients for him, and tell him, Sebo, for every client you reduce 1K on my next trip. You get me? There is safe border. You can save with them. You understand?
Yeah.
You can go watch movies at the cinema at subsidized prices. Also take advantage of discounts. If you
Okay.
cannot get a side hustle, find creative ways to reduce your monthly spend.
In regard to the whole pressure of having a side hustle, for me, I think that people should not be on pressure. And I think
You
the
have to
pressure,
be
the
on
pressure,
pressure.
No, the pressure comes about. Yes, if you need multiple sources of
The
income, you
economy,
have to.
it's horrible.
You can't only be on pressure if the situation has started pitching you. For people who have,
Say you
who
are-
have a
you're-
golden spoon
you're-
in their
yes,
mouth,
you're
it's something
wallowing
many
in
people would
debt.
not think about.
Yeah.
But at the rate at which the economy is going and looking
You
at
have
the
to be on
stats,
pressure. You should
have
be
got to be on
worried.
pressure. And
You
also,
should be very
this
worried.
world is not for the weak-hearted.
Here's the
That's
thing.
just the way it is.
I'm talking about you don't need to be on pressure, because sometimes if you want to make something that's long lasting, how about you sit back, focus on your goals first. You don't have to do what everyone is doing. I have seen people who are like, oh, my friend is venturing into bags and she's thriving. Maybe I should do bags. Forgetting that maybe you're not passionate about it, or there are no guarantees that you'll actually do it as good as they're doing it. So sit back, focus on your goals. First, look at your goals. Why are you starting a side hustle? What is the end goal at the end of the day? Also, look at your interests. What are those things that you're really passionate about, that even when it may not pay off in the first week or the first month, you'll have the push to continue going, because this is something you're passionate about. Rarely will you let go of something you're passionate about before trying as much as you can until you get to the point of giving up.
See, passion is not enough to drive your business. The thing that is the most important and the key thing that can drive your business is you have to learn that business. You don't have to be passionate about it, you have to learn it. And there's so many financial literacy lessons and classes and services that are being provided to people, but people just don't pay attention to them. Your bank is offering free financial literacy, lessons that you should actually take up. Just walk into your local bank, wherever you bank from, talk to the customer care representative and ask for these services, and they will give them to you. Please learn. Different ministries are teaching people, how to learn the business. It's from agriculture to finance, whichever the case may be. They have all these programs. Please enroll. The internet, Google is your friend.
Yes, and you see the thing about passion, and why I'm talking about passion. When you're passionate about something, then you are eager to learn about it, right? Yes, you are.
Could be,
and
but
the other
again,
thing,
I'm saying it is not enough to just
yes,
be
it's not
passionate
enough. You
about
definitely
it, because
have
many people
other
think that,
factors
I am
involved.
passionate about this, so they think that because you're passionate about something, it is
No, it's not enough.
It is enough for you to just
No.
go and start that business. Do you know how many times I have failed at businesses that I thought I was passionate about? And all of them that I did, from event management to emceeing to all this, I have failed at them. I am a great host, guaranteed, hands down, but I don't know. But when I started out, I didn't know how to book gigs. I didn't know where to look for these gigs. I did not know how to place a price for my services. So you have to learn, because when you go with passion, you're like, I love this, I can work for free. Honey, no, you.
Now
where
that's
we
detrimental.
are,
That is
yes,
detrimental
but
passion
when you
right
are
there.
passionate about something, remember that
It doesn't mean you shouldn't
putting in
get
the work
paid.
does go hand in hand. And also
work for
look at
free.
the factor of time. If you are working a 9-to-5 job, depending on how hectic it is, you need to find out what time, so that you allocate enough time to your side hustle. At the end of the day, much as it's a side hustle, you need to give it enough time if it's to thrive. So ladies, I'd like to ask you, while you're trying out your side hustles, if you you talked about, both of you have really tried out side hustles. What are those, actually I'd like you to highlight, in the interest of time, those challenges that you have encountered along your journey with side hustling?
One of the biggest challenge is setting price for your products or your services. When I first started out, is that I didn't factor in that you have to factor in the initial price of which you bought the product, and how much profit that you're supposed to calculate from it. And then also the other thing is, should I register my business? How can I go about running a business legally so that I don't get into trouble, say with KCCA, or get into trouble with, Uganda Revenue Authority. So it was the technical bit of running a business is where I really struggled with. And that's why I take it back to educate yourself to learn the business. And then another thing that was very difficult for me is, especially in the areas of where I'm providing a service, this is something that is not tangible. You're not exchanging a product, but something you can hold. exchanging a service. I'm coming to speak at your event. I'm coming to host your event. So you have to cater in your time, your transport, your meals. So how do you put all that in one set price and defend that is what is your worth? For me, that is what my biggest problem was.
Mine would be consistency, because sometimes I'd be like Panange, but I'm not in this world to suffer. Mine was consistency, mostly inconsistency, but also I think friends can be very detrimental to a side hustle or to a side gig, because they expect that somehow they're supposed to be given free things or like discounts.
That's important.
In actual
Very
sense,
important.
you're the people supposed to be even paying more for my products or services, because you know I'm good at it and they think it's a joke. So mine was consistency, and my friends around me just thought that, you know, we should first, you know, test those, you know, just Ugandans being Ugandans. But yeah, for me those were the two. But otherwise we keep it going.
Okay, before I, you know, give you some of the challenges that are here, for me personally, it was about, you talked about consistency, and I think mine was in line with that, because I got to a point and I'm like, I think this is not working. How about I just put it aside? Maybe if I was consistent, maybe if I went hard for it, I mean, you never know, maybe right now I'd still be having my side hustle, but I plan on starting it again. Anyway, these are some of the challenges. The first one is a loss of focus on your main job. One of the first challenges to be aware of is the danger of losing focus on your main job. Trying to manage a side hustle while also working full-time can cause you to become distracted, wanting to work on one thing, and that is a side business, but having to work on another at the same time. And remember, your main source of income, your main job is very important, because if you do not allocate it enough time, if you get distracted, I mean, you could be laid off anytime, which will be eventually detrimental to your finances. The other one is not enough time to work on your side hustle. A related challenge is not having enough time or to sufficiently work on your side hustle. Launching a business takes a lot of effort, and this is further compounded if you are also working a full-time job when you are trying to work on your business, especially for people who work a 9 to 5. Actually, there's people who work about 12 hours a day. The other one is pressure of working two jobs. The pressure of working two jobs will also start to mount over time. While initially you may be able to put in double the time and effort as a regular job, your energy to do this is likely to dwindle with time, and that happens. So when it happens, you just need to, I don't know, get your feet back on the ground and say, you know what, I can do this. Or if you feel the pressure is too much, because it can translate to stress, which can in the end be a problem when it comes to your mental health. So if you realize that this is weighing down on you, if you can find an assistant to start with, maybe it could be a family friend, or rather your friend or a family member that you can, you know, pay a little money to help you with your side hustle. You can do that so that you cut down on the stress. The other one is the joy of side gig feds. One implication of the additional pressure of working two jobs is your enthusiasm for your side gig may start to decline with time. What may start out as a passion project where you are able to pursue your creative or entrepreneurial skills. This is where passion comes in. If you are passionate about something, trust me, even when, you know, it never dies down. Barely will it die down. But if you just started it for the side, for the reason of to get money out of it, trust me, when that passion fades,
We're talking about the right amount of passion.
Can I please
That
interject?
determines your
Listen,
passion.
this is the thing. It's just like saying, when you talk about passion and say, oh, the fire is never going to die out, it's a lie. It's just like saying, because you have such a positive attitude doesn't mean that you're never going to have any negative thoughts. It's just like that with passion. So that is why I'm saying it is not enough to be, you can like the job. It's good to like what you're doing. But what keeps it going is when you are educated and you know what to do in the event, things don't start working out the way that you hoped them to be. Because even people who are passionate about things are going to dump it. It's like, it's giving me so much stress. You're going to dump it. I love doing this, but the money is not coming in. You know, I'm only getting losses, so it's maybe not for me. Educate yourself.
Yes.
Learn it.
While you educate yourself, passion does go a long way in motivating
pays
you
a
every
very
day.
small-
Even when you get
Do
to
you
a
know
point
what
where you want to
motivates
give up,
someone?
the
Do you
thing
know what
about
moti-
passion is
do
you
you know
will
what-
keep moving.
do you know
because
what
this is
motivates-
something you love.
Do you know what motivates someone? Money. And that is why we
There are people who
everything
do
that
things
we
because they
not
love them and
everyone.
not because of the money.
Because they have the luxury and money is coming from somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't think so. I really, because I
Money
know
motivates anybody.
I know people
that
who
is
can wake up
true. That is
today
true, but there are
boasting and they're
people
not
out
getting
there
paid
who
because
are
they love
actually
it.
motivated by what
by
they
what they
love.
love.
Even when
yes.
the money is not there, or
Money.
even when it delays,
keep
they're
telling
still
yourself
motivated.
We
And
shall
they
just
just
talk
love
about
it.
we shall
Life.
talk about
Money.
passion until the cows come
Passion
home. But for
versus
now-
money.
For now,
Which one would you go for?
word of advice as you give your parting shots. Word of advice for somebody who intends to start a side hustle out there.
Educate yourself.
I thought you were going to say don't be driven by passion.
I'm saying educate yourself and know what it is that you're getting yourself into. Equip yourself with the knowledge of how to handle the situation when your business, when it starts to fail. Education is key. Financial literacy, financial competence, delegate, learn how to work with people, customer care, client service, all these things are very important. It all stems down to learning the business. Learn. Read a book, go on the internet, research, ask people, get advice from people who are in this business, and get it from people who you trust, not people because not everybody is going to give you their secrets to
What worked for them.
to what worked for them. So please be on the search for knowledge. Learn the business. Learn. Me, that's all I'd say. Learn
Keep
the
learning.
business. Keep
Sarah says
learning.
keep learning. Shiva.
Mine definitely. There is no better time to start a side hustle. And if you're looking for something that you would like to start up, start by what you love, but also stop giving services for free. And make sure that if your friends know about your side gigs, they're supporting you and not expecting to get things for free.
Okay, these are some of the tips that I can give you if you intend to start up a side hustle anytime soon. First of all, make sure you're passionate about your side hustle. And this has to be the most crucial point at the end of the day, because it gives you that extra push. And you know, the reason I'm focusing more on passion is because everyone talks about it when it comes to a side hustle. The other one is establish your boundaries. The other one is develop a schedule so that you can be able to allocate enough time for both your main job and your side hustle as well. And the other one, tap into your time management skills. That also is like the other not advantage, but the tip that I gave you. And the other one is eliminate distractions. Anyway, that winds up the conversation that we had for you here on Our Views. But remember, you can continue this conversation on Twitter. Let us know if you intend to, start up a side hustle. And also, you can give advice to people who intend to start up side hustles with the challenges that you have gone through, with the effort that you have put in, so that they are in the know. Keep watching Sunrise at Sea and don't blink.
Well, that winds up what we had for you. And like the saying goes, every good thing must come to an end. And unfortunately, or fortunately for you, Sunrise at Sea has definitely come to an end. Special thanks to the people behind the camera. We love you. Thank you for making us look this fabulous this morning. And of course, together with the ladies, I do hope that we have been able to keep you entertained, informed, and updated, and ready to start your day. Also, if you're thinking of starting up a side hustle, as the ladies called it, I believe it can be called a side job, because why are you hustling if you have a job on the side? Well, those are some of the tips and tricks that you can actually take home and put into consideration if you're looking forward to starting a side job or something going on. Otherwise, from the team and I, we wish you a lovely, beautiful day ahead. Also, do not forget that later on we shall have the brunch request, and of course, CTV still continues with the PM edition, and later on, Enjuba Egolovia. Keep watching and don't blink.